This is Silent Hill 2 Remake. We're here on Xbox Series S. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. Hello there. So this is bringing back Silent Hill 2 and reimagining it for the modern era. A classic horror title focusing on the psychological elements as this man, James, has received a letter from his wife. She died 3 years ago of that disease. And now she's here in this town, this special place, allegedly, of Silent Hill. And, yeah, James here is trying to find out what it means, what happened to her, and to explore this place, to understand everything that went wrong along the way. Here in this spooky town of Silent Hill. So this is a great game. It's actually pretty long. Should be well over 10 hours of gameplay, depending on your, I guess you would say, skill level or ability to solve the puzzles and such that you go through. The game has a very distinct aesthetic and ambience to it, where you go through this very thick mist, this fog, this unsettling coat of, well, basically, yeah, fog everywhere. In order to figure out what exactly happened. It's linear in design, but there is a little bit of a sense of freedom as you do some of the areas that become a little bit more open as you go through what becomes really labyrinth-like areas on your way to solving whatever set of clues and challenges that you need to work through and discover in order to move on to the next area. It's a very unsettling game. It's emotionally traumatizing. There are many monsters, some real, some in our minds. And yeah, you kind of go through this world, piecing everything together. And then, of course, the cool part of Silent Hill is that you're able to play them and replay these games and get different endings and more context and really explore things. And as I mentioned, they did a really good job of reimagining this world so that you've got a new, fresh visual perspective on this world. And then on top of that, they've just kind of really built out the experience so that you can replay it and enjoy this new visual styling in some fun ways, including getting a fun little extra item after your initial run into your New Game Plus, and I think that in itself is really, really quite cool. So it is something where if you do replay it, there is value in doing so, as to say you will find something fun, and it does reward you for doing that. But the game itself is quite lengthy in that way, as it encourages you to not just play it once through, but to actually go back and revisit this world over and over again. And yeah, you just kind of come into this place, you move down the streets, you move into these areas, sickeningly terrifying apartments. I was going to say sickening and, you know, kind of twisted apartments, but yeah. And these creepy places such as a hospital or maybe a hotel, as you find notes and little secrets and things that help carve out the world. And you're not the only one here. The land of Silent Hill tends to reach many souls, and they all have problems and issues, and you'll deal with that as you meet a colorful cast of characters that are going through their own traumatic problems in this creepy, quiet town. So from a Series S technical perspective, this is a dynamic... Okay, so like, it's taking from a low resolution, like this is all temporally scaled because it's our favorite engine here. So it's like 720p is the internal sort of dynamic scaler, to 1080p at 30 FPS. So it's kind of rough on the Series S. I mean, it's definitely playable, but yeah, it's a low resolution. There's HDR support. There's spatial sound, Dolby Atmos, and DTSX, but yeah, we do get a little bit of a helping hand on Series S because so much of this game is foggy. That actually does wonders for helping with, like, Because the game is a little open, but it's quite linear, right? So you don't get many large scale spaces. So it does help keep the fidelity of the game up a little bit. But yeah, this is still a really kind of rough around the edges sort of setup as far as like a visual styling and stuff. Like the characters are very like blurry. The world is sort of very temporally fuzzy and scaled depending on like what area you're going to. So that is definitely something that you will likely notice when you are playing this game, is that yeah, it's definitely a bit rough around the edges on Series S. It's still the full game, it's still the full geometry and everything like that. It's just like, yeah, like when you, especially when you're inside buildings and that, it's really really blurry. And I don't know if that's just like a continuation of this generation going on and Series S continuing to suffer, or developers just not caring to develop for Series S and just kind of being like, okay, you just get a quick low resolution mode, low frame rate, and that seems to be just the thing. Because it's like, yeah, it's a little disappointing from a technical standpoint. But you can do things like there's like a 90s mode and contrast settings and stuff, and a bunch of accessibility options and some gameplay adjustments and lots of difficulty settings you can choose. Because there's not only a setup of like combat, but there's also a setup of doing puzzles and puzzle solving, and that's kind of a big part of Silent Hill, more so even than the battling is going around and actually... Wait, do we? Yeah, we gotta go over here. Actually, like, solving the puzzle, solving the troubling things that come your way. And yes, there is a little bit of battling, and yes, there is a little bit of combat, but it is mostly about figuring out the puzzles. And most of them are logical. There might be a couple spots here or there where you have an issue where you need to... I thought I grabbed the... Oh, my save must not have... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, we gotta go back to the record store. I guess the save thing I used... The autosave here did not include the record. My bad. My bad. Anyways, yeah, no, like most of the puzzles quite logical. You might find a guide that'll let you cheat through it a little bit quicker if you want to. Or if you've played this a little bit easier, like remember how to solve some of the stuff. And depending on the difficulty, the puzzles will change a little bit too, so it's a little bit more... I don't know, I guess you would say mysterious, I suppose. It's definitely a little bit different if you tackle this from a different perspective and difficulty setting. It really does have quite a lot to it in that regard, but there's many things to sort of see and many things to sort of do. And the game has just like a really great ambience and vibe to it. Like it's just so unsettling and messed up. And the things you see and the things you do in this game are really, really great. Like, I think they nailed the vibe and the atmosphere. Just like, yeah, whenever you go inside, it looks... Like, in the slow, like, texture loading stuff on Series S2, as far as stuff in the environment is rough. Yeah, it's, I mean, it plays fine and stuff, you know, it hits that frame rate target and that. It's just, like, not visually the best of ways to kind of go about it. And the red markings, you can actually turn that off as like a UI setting. Some people kind of recommend it. I mean, it's harder to know how damaged you're getting. I think the character does kind of give you a little bit of a decent visual indicator, but it is also sort of like really quite present on the screen. But if you played the original Silent Hill 2, and you came back and you played this one, or you came forward, I guess, and played this one, you'd be quite impressed with it, because I think it does modernize the gameplay mechanics really effectively. Seriously, the original Silent Hill 2, it's an all-time classic is what it is. It really genuinely is an all-time classic game. But it certainly has some elements that haven't aged the best, and when you take a look at that one, you compare it to this one, it is such a night and day improvement in terms of just like technology and visuals and gameplay mechanics. I think they did a wonderful job. Isn't that supposed to come back? A wonderful job revitalizing this experience. There we go. For modern audiences, and I think you will probably be pretty blown away by this one when you go in and actually play it, from like moving around to the camera angles to the perspectives to the combat. Everything here is very, very good. We're missing a number 2. But where could the number 2 be? Uh-oh, looks like we're gonna have to go back out there and go to... yeah, I think I know where we're headed. But yeah, that is a lot of it. It's like, how do we get here? How do you figure this out? And you kind of make your way around here. I shouldn't have attacked that creature, just so we didn't have these red markings on the screen the whole time, but I thought I'd add a little bit of combat to the discussion a little bit. They were getting too bored of it all. Because these games, they definitely have like a vibe in the fog and that, but I don't think you'd get necessarily too stuck when playing this at any point. I mean, obviously, there's lots of guides and things you can use nowadays, but I think it is there are some points where you probably get like stuck for a second or so, and you'll be like, ugh, how do I get through this? But you'll like just logic-wise and moving around and just exploring really is a big part of, you know, figuring out your way through this place. You take it kind of bit by bit, and you just make your way through this, you know, these environments. You do all these unsettling things, and you see all this stuff, because it's very much the psychology of, like, what exactly is happening to our lead character. Like, why is he here? Why is this happening? You know, what did he do to, I wouldn't say deserve this, but, like, you know, it's these questions you have is, like, what exactly caused our lead character to be in this situation? Why is he here? How is he going to get out of this? Will he get out of this? And what will we have to do along the way to do so? And then, of course, your endings all play into everything, too, as far as, like, where the character ends up, the darkness that follows. Yeah, it's genuinely a neat vibe. Like, the game is really unique and creative in its puzzles and its challenges and its places you go. The game is a vibe the whole way through. And this is just like one part of it. It gets even more and more twisted as you go through some of the scenarios, and you see more and more of the bad, terribly bad, messed up things that happen to this character over the course of the game. And then it's really quite cool too, as you see and understand why this all happened, and like just understanding the trauma of it. I think it's a lot better too if you play it without having any knowledge of it. Like, obviously revisiting a classic like this is fun. If you have played the original, you'll be like, wow, this is such a fresh new way to do it. Or if you're just replaying it, it's a great game. But if you are coming in fresh, it's genuinely such a treat, because you won't know, like, the smaller details of this will blow your mind. You'll be like, oh, okay, cool, and you'll be lost in, like, what really did happen in this place? Or what is going to happen? And that in itself is kind of spectacular. And it's, like, it's gross, it's grotesque, it's messed up, it's monstrous, there's many little hidden secrets and things, and so much stuff for you to do. And it's all playable on Series S here, which is nice, but, like, yeah, she's definitely rough around the edges. Especially as it's at the point where you get the flashlight. You gotta go on a lot further. And you do actually get to spend a bit of time out here in the hill, but I like the hill, the main street of Silent Hill. But I really do wish you spent a bit more time. Like, ugh, never stick your hand in holes in the walls, guys. I do wish you spent a bit more time doing stuff on the streets. Like, you get to do this, and then you go somewhere, and then you come back and rope around some areas, but, like, it's such a neat place to visit with the fog and that, and it's sort of, like, almost relaxing, too. You know, there's the buzzing of, like, the monsters around you, and it gives you an indicator of, oh, there's a creature thing there, and whatnot. And the other places are fun because they're, like, tighter, scarier spaces, but there is just kind of a vibe when you are going out and just moving along here. I also love how the environment just opens itself to you. That part of the game is really, really cool, because you just very slowly see it revealed. You very slowly be like, okay, this door in that door, and then you come back around and be like, okay, this way's open now. Or that way's open now. Or, oh, I can go in this way. Or, oh, I can see this thing. And you just very slowly get access to everything along the way. And I think that is very, very good. Did I put the coin in? I think it's blue 2. Play that funky music jukebox. Oh yeah. We're just gonna skip ahead because now we've got the magical key. Which will take us to another place and then to another place, and yeah. It's just cool though, seeing this all sort of build up and the choices kind of play into each other. Like obviously there's so much to this game. There really is. It's quite a complex sort of setup. It's something that like really will stay with you, because it's cool. Because like obviously like if you played, and I go back to that concept, but if you played Silent Hill 2 back in the day when it came out, it was the type of game that did stick with you. That's what you would always think about or talk about, or it would come up and you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember Silent Hill 2. I think this one does kind of an equally good job of being something where I think this is going to have really good longevity, and it's something people are going to be very fond of and like they're going to find it very memorable and something to like reference or think back to, and I want to see more of it. I'm very excited for them to be working on the Silent Hill 1 remake in a similar way, and then eventually it'd be great to see Silent Hill 3 and so forth, because there just really does seem to be potential to take this sort of gameplay styling and bring back the rest of the series. Yeah, we're just gonna skip along. Things are about to get crazy in here. See, it's such a vibe when everything starts to get hectic. It might actually be more effective on Series S just because the resolution's so much lower. If you think about it. Resolution's so low, it allows you to be more immersed in what's going on. That's the magic of the Series S they don't tell you about. But yeah, I thought it was kind of low res on Series X, and then just to see the Series S here, I'm just like, oof. Definitely making some comebacks and stuff. But you think in theory this game would be like kind of technically easier to run just because, well, so much of the world is hidden. And this is where the game really does actually pick up the most. Is when you get here, man, this really struggles with texture loading, doesn't it? And you come up here and you try to find the little circle medallions and solve the puzzle. But yeah, you just get to see all this like twisted stuff and look around. You really need the flashlight, which I am going to get relatively soon. There's like an area you go into and it's like this dark messed up thing, and I love how you also do the exploration in this one. You go from place to place to place, and then you open stuff, and you get like a marked on the on your map. Like this door is closed. It locks on your map. And this door is closed, yeah. And then you mark on your map, and you go do something, and you come back, and there's always a new thing. And it does a good enough job of guiding you through some twisted, dark setups. And there's all these like nice little references to things in your mind, and yeah, they really did nail this the whole way through, didn't they? 201, that's the goal. Good luck in there, mannequin. But yeah, I mean, it's playable on Series S. The performance runs solid. It's quite blurry. It's got cutbacks, but it delivers the package decently enough.